Good morning friends and welcome to the pre-market view. We have extremely supportive global cues to start with, and when we look at the global markets, most of these markets were up. US in particular was up almost about 0.18% as far as Dow is concerned, but Nasdaq and S&P both were even higher. And the case in point is that Google was clearly in the limelight, and that stock managed to cross $1,000 mark after a long time. In fact, it was up almost about 12 to 13% after it reported extremely good set of numbers. Other positive thing is that the 10-year bond yields in US have actually slipped to almost about 2.58% mark. Though there are some important data points which are going to be coming out which would decide the fate of the tapering, but overall backdrop at this point of time coming from US is extremely supportive. Even European markets too were up anywhere from 0.71% to almost about 1%. There again the bond yields have actually come down, which is definitely a big positive. And when we look at the Asian markets today morning, Nikkei is up almost about 0.54% and Hang Seng is also up almost about 1.68%. One of the data points that came out from Japan was not positive because the export growth actually has come down. But given the backdrop that we have, there is good strength visible across the Asian markets today morning. SGX Nifty is also suggesting that we are going to have a gap up start of almost about 20 to 25 points, somewhere around 62.20, 62.25 levels. And this is backed by extremely strong flows. So FIs were net buyers in the cash market to the tune of about 1750 crore. The domestic institutions were sellers to the tune of about 565 crore. And even in the index futures, we have seen the FIs buying to the tune of about 565 odd crore. Overall, momentum in the market is extremely supportive. The FI flows continues, and even some of the numbers which have come out, particularly from the large cap names like L&T and some of the banking names have definitely been good. So we expect the positive momentum in the market to continue. What are the indicators from the F&O side and what are the ideas that we can have from that section? Let me invite Shaival to take you through some of the interesting ideas.
Good morning friends. Let's have a view at derivatives. Friends, we have seen that the markets have finally closed above the mark of 6,200 levels and now we are almost near the all-time high. Now, since past 2 days, we have seen that in spite of the rise in the market, significant rise in the market, we have seen some short positions building up in the market, and we have seen that around 4.5 lakh shares were added in Friday's trade, and we have also seen that the cost of carry has decreased marginally. Now, talking about the put to call ratio, we have seen that the addition on the put side is aggressive compared to that of call, and some unwinding has taken place on the call side. That's the reason because of which the PCR ratio has shot up significantly from 1.16 to 1.26, which is clearly visible on the options matrix. Currently 6,300 and 400 call options are the one which have the highest number of shares in the open interest, whereas on the put side we have seen that 6,100 put option and 6,000 put option has seen good amount of activity taking place in the market. Now specifically friends, 6,100 which is a weekly VWAP put continue to act as a good support on closing basis, and on immediate basis friends we feel that 6,300 can be targeted. Talking about the view on the market from intraday perspective, 61070 is the level that might act as a good support from intraday basis, and from intraday perspective one can go long on Jubilant Food by maintaining a stop loss of 1155.50. Thank you.
Here are the important news and events that we are tracking today. First of all, the companies which will be announcing numbers today. HDFC Limited, we are looking at a net profit of 1,250 crore. Asian Paints, we are looking at a net profit of about 260 crore. Z Entertainment, a net profit of 204 crore. Rallis India, profit of about 71.1 crore. Mahindra Financials, we are looking at a net profit of 226 crore. And in case of Karnataka Bank, we are looking at a net profit of about 79.7 crore. L&T came out with exceptionally good set of numbers, and the net profit for the second quarter was 978 crore and a total sales was almost about 14,500 crore, which grew at almost about 10%. These results were much better than market expectations, so one can expect a positive reaction to the L&T stock in today's market. Ultratech Cement came out with a disappointing set of numbers and the net profit fell almost about 52%, and overall even sales was muted. In fact, it was a negative growth of almost about 4.2%. We've seen that Ultratech and some of the cement companies have been reporting weak set of numbers for the past 2 quarters, but any major negative reaction in the stock price could actually be a good entry point, and we will try and update you on the entry point over the next few days. Reliance Industries, some positive news as the BP CEO who visited India met actually the oil and gas ministry, and they are looking at investing almost about $10 billion in the oil and gas space, but they have got sought in fact the government support in tracking the regulatory issues and allowing the companies to sell the natural gas at the market related prices. And for ONGC, some positive news as the 50-50 joint venture of OVL, which is the overseas arm of ONGC, has been awarded shallow water blocks in Bangladesh. Lupin has received the certification for the ISRS, which is definitely a bit of a positive for Lupin, and also the fact that major selling in Lupin has actually come to a halt. So one can expect some positive up move in the Lupin stock over the next about 4 to 5 days time. And in another development, India has slapped the anti-dumping duty of up to about $9 per kg on import of cefadroxil bulk drug, which we are importing from Eurozone. Jubilant Life Science, some positive news as the company has received approval from the US FDA to market generic version of GlaxoSmithKline's antidepressant Valbutine SR. So some positive news for Jubilant Life Science. And Department of Disinvestment has again embarked upon the road shows in London and some other cities in the US to dilute 5% stake in the company. Unitech Group has entered into a tie-up with the Accenture for lease rentals, which would actually give them almost about 1,000 crore of rental income over the next 15 years. So this is positive for Unitech. Federal Bank came out with extremely good set of numbers on Saturday, both at the net profit level as well as the net interest margin, and the NPL quality was much better. So one can go long on Federal Bank with a stop loss of 69.75 and a target of about 74 to 75. Some positive news for Reliance Communication as the company has got a relief from the Department of Telecommunication as they have decided to continue with the dual technology for the company. So one can go long there with a stop loss of 149 and a target of about 157 to about 159. SpiceJet, some positive news as the company overall the aviation sector has reported extremely good growth in the last month, and we have also heard of some positive talks about the possible stake sale. So one can go long on SpiceJet with a stop loss of 20.75 and a target of about 22.5. Bharti, some positive news as indications which are coming out from the telecom ministry is that the next round of auction will start somewhere in the next year and the reserve price would be much lower. So whenever Bharti's renewal comes up, they would be able to get at a lower price. So one can go long there with a stop loss of 350 and a target of about 368 to 375. That's it from all of us, friends. Have a great trading session and see you tomorrow at the same time.